Alright, in 5.8b we're going to look at a couple more examples of systems by graphing. So in our first example, it already graphed the equations for us. It's just asking what is the solution of this system of equations represented on the coordinate plane below. If we look at our two lines, we can see that they come together right at this point. And we know there is one solution, and it is that point where our two lines come together. So this point, if we count, we're going over 1, 2, and then we're going down 1, 2. So that means our point there is positive 2 in our x direction, negative 2 in our y direction. That would make our answer D. Okay, number 2 asks which system of equations represents perpendicular lines. Remember, perpendicular means our slopes have to be opposite reciprocals. This is an OC here, reciprocals. Okay? So if we look at these equations, we are going to have to solve them for y to get what our slope is. So when I do that for a, if I start with x plus y equals 3, in order to get y by itself, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. That leaves me with y equals negative x plus 3. So in this case, my slope is a negative 1 over 1. In my second equation here, in order to get y by itself, when I add x to both sides, in this case, I get negative y equals x minus 5, but I still need to divide by a negative 1, so I get y equals a negative x plus 5, which here my slope is a negative 1 over 1. So these are the same, so we know it is not this one because we are looking for opposite reciprocals. Let's try B. If we have x plus y equals 4, if I move that x term to the other side, I'm left with y equals a negative x plus 4. This makes my slope negative 1 over 1. For my second equation, x plus y equals minus 4. If I subtract x from both sides again, I'm left with y equals minus x minus 4. Again, this makes my slope, it's the same thing, it's a minus 1 over 1. So it is not B because those, again, are the same. Let's try C. If I solve that equation, 2x plus y equals 3. I want y by itself, so I'm going to move my whole x term to the other side. I'm left with y equals minus 2x plus 3. So here, my slope is a negative 2 over 1. For my second equation there, I get negative x plus 2y equals 4. If I add x to both sides, I'm left with 2y is equal to x plus 4. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Get y equals 1/2 x plus 4. This means my slope is 1 over 2. Now if I look at my two slopes right here, I have negative 2 over 1 and a positive 1 over 2. Those are reciprocals. One is negative and one is positive. So those are opposite reciprocals. That makes C the correct answer. Okay, number 3. What is the solution of the system of those two equations listed? Let's start with 2x plus 10y equals 0. In order to graph this equation, I need to know my slope and my y-intercept, which I can only find once it's in slope-intercept form. So if I want y by itself, I'm going to subtract 2x, do my inverse operations to get y by itself. 2x minus 2x is 0, so I'm left with 10y equals minus 2x plus 0, so just minus 2x. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 10. Y equals negative 2 over 10, which I can reduce that in my calculator. Remember, if you type negative 2 divided by 10, hit math, enter, enter, you should get negative 1 over 5. So in this equation, my slope is negative 1 over 5, and my b is 0. There's no number there, so my b is 0. So I can start with my first point at the origin, where b is 0. Then I'm going to go down 1 and over 5, which brings me right here. Extend this line. Then I need to solve my second equation. So I'll do that on this side. X plus y equals 4. In order to get y by itself, I need to get rid of this positive x. To do that, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I'm left with y is equal to a negative x plus 4. Now I can see that my slope is negative 1 over 1, and my y-intercept, my b, is 4. So if I go up to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going down 1 over 1 this time. Okay, connect my points now. And that line I did not draw very straight. Let's try that again. Fix this one. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now I'm looking for where my 2 points cross. If we look, I see my intersection right here. That point, I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in my x direction, and then I'm going down 1, so that would be a negative 1. This is my solution to those two equations. Number 4 says, how many solutions does each of the following have? 2 intersecting lines. So we just looked at an example of 2 intersecting lines. Where they intersect, that one point is their solution. So for question A, there is one solution. How many solutions does each of the following have for parallel lines? Well, if we have parallel lines, remember parallel lines are lines that look like this. They go alongside each other and they never touch. This means parallel lines have no solutions because they do not intersect. Then for part C, 2 of the same line. Well, if we are looking at one line right here, those 2 same lines, they're right on top of each other. So that would be like drawing a red line right on top of my blue line. Everywhere they intersect, all along these lines, these are all points that are solutions to these 2 lines. Everywhere they touch is a solution. So this means that this these two lines have infinite solutions. Okay, final question. What is the solution of the system 2x plus y equals 3 and 4x plus 2y equals 6? First thing I need to do is solve for y, get it in slope-intercept form. To do that, if I have a positive 2x, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Left with y equals a negative 2x plus 3. This means my slope is negative 2 over 1. My y-intercept is 3. So I can graph that, go up 1, 2, 3. My slope, I'm going down 2 and over 1. There is my first line. My second equation, 4x plus 2y equals 6. If I have a positive 4x, I need the inverse, which is a minus 4x. 4x minus 4x is 0. I'm left with 2y is equal to minus 4x plus 6. Remember, those are not like terms, so I can not combine them. Then I have 2 times y on the left, so that means I need to divide by 2. If I do that on the left, I need to do it on the right. I am left with y is equal to negative 2x, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3, plus 3. Negative 2, there we go. So now my y-intercept, my slope is a negative 2 over 1 here, and my y-intercept is a positive 3. So when I go to graph this equation, I'm going up positive 3, going down 2 and over 1. And those are my same 2 points I had earlier. So if you notice, this line right here is the exact same line. So that means the solution to this system is infinite solutions.